Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I thank the Honorable Koralamisa for the question. Mr. Speaker, sir, as I mentioned in this August House earlier this week, while tourism shows resilience, it is still a sector that has vulnerabilities. We acknowledge that the year has begun at a slower pace and are monitoring how Fiji's tourism is performing. Mr. Speaker, sir, on the current situation, the latest data on visitor arrivals for the first quarter of 2025, January to March, compared to the previous year, indicates a decrease of 5.3%. Undoubtedly, this beginning of the year is gentler than we had anticipated, particularly following a recovery that outperformed our expectations. However, we are aware of several factors that might have contributed to these figures. Mr. Speaker, sir, some of the reasons include Easter. For example, falling in March last year compared to April this year. The Australian election on May 3 typically leads to a decrease in demand. Mr. Speaker, sir, the volatility of the share market and the uncertainty stemming from the U.S. reciprocal tariffs have led to a decrease in demand in our markets. While this does not necessarily mean people have stopped traveling, it impacts where they go and how much money they spend. Interest rates continue to stay on the higher end of neutral, prompting families to be more careful with their discretionary expenditures. Mr. Speaker, sir, another very critical reason is that competition is growing. And it's growing every day, especially within the Asia-Pacific region. The price positioning of Fiji was providing a challenge compared to cheaper destination competitors, particularly in Asia, as growth from our key markets to markets like Bali, Vietnam, Philippines, and Thailand has lifted off the back of aggressive deals and pricing on low-cost airlines and hotels. So they are not just less expensive, they are also easier to obtain. From March 24 to February 25, the Southeast Asia region experienced the launch of 494 additional routes featuring locations such as Cambodia and Vietnam. On the upside, Mr. Speaker, sir, the UN Tourism reports an estimated 1.4 billion international tourists, overnight visitors around the world in 2024, an increase of 11% over 2023, or 140 million more. International tourist arrivals are expected to grow 3% to 5% in 2025 compared to 2024. So travel and tourism still grow. On a slightly positive note, we began slowly last year as well, but the figures began to rise as we moved into April and May. Forward bookings through July appear robust, and the pickup trend is also promising. One of the fundamental reasons is around pricing and value. As soon as late January and February hit and numbers were softer, hotels in Fiji got more aggressive with pricing and are working with Tourism Fiji. So relatively, we are still doing okay and are tracking above pre-COVID and above 2023. We anticipate that the period from April to July will either exceed or match last year's figures, so our focus is on maintaining our numbers throughout the peak season. Travel from Los Angeles, San Francisco, and currently Dallas remain strong. Americans continue to travel even though the number of visitors going to America has decreased. Mr. Speaker, sir, certain hotels are indicating steady performance compared to last year, with a modest increase in average daily rates, resulting in improved yield. On marketing reports, while there are factors beyond our control, we're actively working on promoting Fiji. Tourism Fiji has been working with major trade partners to put aggressive price options in the market, and some significant discounts have been offered, which is helping lift occupancy. We are focusing on conversion, with Tourism Fiji working with Fiji Airways to promote sale fares in key markets like Australia and New Zealand. Asian markets, China, Japan, and South Korea in the first quarter noted increases, although modest. This emphasizes the importance of diversifying and allocating substantial marketing resources to these markets alongside our traditional partners. As I mentioned earlier in this August House, We are pursuing connectivity with emerging markets, so we have a more diversified market. Mr. Speaker, so we also recognize the evolving preferences of travelers with more demand for unique, value-driven experiences. This is why we have the opportunity to reassess our product offerings. This is why we need to open up new destinations, encourage more authentic experiences, and continuously innovate to make travel as seamless as possible. We need to make the case for value for money. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, sir, a key takeaway to emphasize is the understanding that tourism does not develop naturally. Its importance to the economy requires that it be nurtured and supported. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.